So if you're buying a house, yesterday I was talking about if you're selling a house, how you should sell it. Today, if you're buying a house right now, how do you stand out from everyone else, right? The market's super competitive. There's multiple offers. Everyone's like bidding these things up like crazy. How do you stand out? First thing is get a competent agent. I think that's the first thing everyone should do, please. For like my sake, yours, mostly for your sake, but for everyone's sake that's involved in a real estate transaction, choose a guy that's not a clown to buy a house with. Because we all know everyone, their mom has a real estate license because, I don't know, I guess they give them out to everyone or something, I don't know. Anyway, how do you stand out? So I think the number one rule is to figure out why your seller is selling and make your offer according to that need of the seller, right? So let's just say that the seller needs to sell because they're moving out of town, but they need to stay here another month until they're actually moving, right? So if you find that out, if again, you have a competent agent, he calls the listing agent, he gets that information because he's good at talking to people, not a clown. You're like, okay, cool. So this guy needs to stay in the house for a month. How about I put my offer in at maybe asking, and I put in there that he can stay in the house for up to 2 months if they need to, free of charge. They just need to sign a rental agreement. And you'll put some money from the closing in escrow for a security deposit to make sure that nothing would happen. Nothing breaks, nothing crazy happens, right? That sounds like a pretty enticing thing if I was selling the house and he's like, hey, you can stay here for free, I'm gonna close for sure, right? So just an example, right? The other is if your offer and you're offering above asking price, most of the time the house is priced at what it is because that's what the agent saw as comps in the area, right? And most of the time it's very accurate. Again, if your agent's not a clown. But let's just say that you offer, I don't know, 10K over whatever the asking price is. So the house is listed for 100, you offer 110. And all the other houses in that area have sold for 105, right? To stand out in this scenario, you would want to put in an addendum that even if the house only appraises for like 105, maybe 107, and your offer is 110, you will bring that difference in cash to close. Granted, I would never suggest anyone to overpay for houses. Then that is an example of overpaying. But if you really want a house in this market, that's what you want to do. And again, I would never suggest anyone to do that. But if you really want a house and you really need to get it and you really want to move or whatever your case is, just that's one way to do it, right? And to go along with that, make sure you have your financing squared away. So make sure that your lender, you have a pre-approval letter, and even take it a step further and that you're like fully underwritten, because that makes you look 10 times better with the offer. Maybe include your loan guy's number or have the loan guy call the agent and be like, hey, this guy's fully underwritten. He's good to close as soon as everything's good, right? We just need to completely underwrite the house and we're good, right? That again gives the seller peace of mind and makes you look that much better. And to go along with that, agents just email you an offer. Half the time they don't even write what house the offer's for. So you gotta like open up the offer, you gotta scroll through like a million pages, figure out what house this is even for. Like, for real, just got a good agent. Prime example today, I got another example. So this dude, guy, whatever, clown, we'll call him a clown, Mr. Clown Klein, he sets an appointment for today. All right, cool. Never shows up, never calls, never texts me, nothing, right? He sets an appointment, it gets approved. When you're an agent, you set an appointment, it gets approved, and as soon as it gets approved, we use this app called Showing Time. In Showing Time, it says, hey, look, you're approved. You can go look at the house. Congratulations. It says combination. You open the combination, and it tells you the instructions on how to get in the freaking house. Long story short, this dude, like I said, gets an appointment, gets approved, he's ready to go. He never calls, never texts, never anything. But then, after his appointment's done, as with everyone's appointments, you get a feedback, right? So it asks you, how'd you like the house? How was it priced? What do you think? Are you gonna make an offer? Blah, 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 all this other stuff. So this guy takes the time in the feedback to say he never got showing instructions. Instead of taking the time in the feedback to get your freaking showing instructions, wouldn't have been like, I don't know, maybe like 100 times smarter to be like, hey, Mr., Tio in this case, I never got showing instructions. And I would have told you, well, yeah, you did. If you look at your fucking freaking Showing Time. So that's just the struggle of having an agent that's a clown. So, in summary, if you're trying to buy a house right now in a super competitive market, those are like the 3 things that I would say could help you stand out, right? Some people are even like writing letters and stuff to the sellers, like, oh, my family love the neighborhood, we see our kids growing up, like all that stuff. So that's another thing you can do. But yeah, so figure out why the seller's selling and try to cater your offer to that. Figure out some sort of not financing contingency, but have your financing squared away, ready to go. Have your loan officer call the agent and tell him, like, yeah, this guy's ready to go. We're ready to close on this. Just, we got to underwrite the house. And 3, not that you're waiving your appraisal, you're still doing your appraisal, but say that if you are offering over and above asking, that you are willing to bring more cash to the table to close the property. Again, I do not recommend doing that because I think it's not stupid. Don't say stupid. Not wise to overpay for something, right? If something's worth 100 and you're paying like 150 for it, I mean, it's unwise, but I would just call it, well, let's just leave it unwise. So anyway, hope you have a great night and hope this video helped.